You know, I'm happy we didn't throw in the towel. It is, as it always has been and will be, on brand. Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Astros, and I'm here to talk about game 161 of the regular season, where the Astros win 1-0 over the Arizona Diamondbacks. And for the 7th straight year, the Houston Astros are headed back to the postseason. You know how last night I said that the game was easy to talk about from a run-scoring perspective? It was even easier tonight. HOU1-ARI0, an RBI double in the 4th inning to make it 1-0 Houston. That was it. That was the only mistake that Merrill Kelly made. Credit to him, he pitched an unbelievable game, 7 innings of dominance, made one bad mistake, and that was all the Astros needed, because the Astros pitching staff was just a hair bit better. Fantastic outing from Justin Verlander, picked up 5 strikeouts and 5 shutout innings to finish off his season. For the record, that is Verlander going 13 innings of one-run ball with 13 strikeouts in his last 2 appearances of the season. He looks really good, and heading into the postseason, that bodes really, really good for the Astros as a whole. He looked fantastic. Phil Maton had a good inning of work, picked up a strikeout. He looked solid. Kendall Graveman didn't, but Hector Neris comes in, bases loaded, 1 out in a very important game for the Astros. He's just got that dog in him. Unbelievable performance tonight from Hector Neris. Picks up a strikeout, gets a big ground ball, and then goes back out for another inning of work, picks up another scoreless inning, an inning and 2/3 for Hector Neris tonight, on top of an inning of just mastery out of him last night. Hector freaking Neris, man. He is going to be the most important part of the offseason. The Astros have got to bring him back. I understand what just happened with the Montero contract, and I really hope that doesn't scare the Astros off, because Neris has more than deserved it. He was really, really good for them in 2022 in the regular season. Unbelievable in the postseason. This year he's been even better. I mean, he's got to have, close to like a 2.2-ish ERA for the Astros in his 2 years with them. Might be the best reliever on the staff this season for the Astros. I mean, Hector Neris has been simply out of this world all season long for them. He has got to be retained. And again, you just hope to God the Montero contract hasn't scared them off of giving relievers fair and good contracts. And then you had Brian Abreu, who is another person who could lay claim to being one of the best relievers or the best reliever on the rotation. Picked up an inning scoreless in the 9th. Was it a little hairy, a touch, but he gets out of it. And the Astros, for the 7th consecutive year, make the postseason. And now we get to the lovey-dovey sugar stuff. I've had so many doubts about this team so many different times through this season. And I have made those doubts very well known. I've not held them back. But for the past 2 weeks, when the Astros, before the past 2 series, right, before the past 5 games, I was talking about how I was ready to make that video and tear them to shreds. And some games against the Royals, people were DMing me and commenting and just saying, go after him. Do it. It's time. We are done with it. We are ready for the video where you just tear them to the ground. And there was that little part of me in the back of my mind and in my heart. I couldn't do it. Because if there has been anything I've learned watching this team for the past 7 years, they're never out. Even when they should be, they're never out of it. Even in those series where they did end up losing, even in 19 and 21 and 20, even when they were out, they found a way to not die quietly. Even in 19, where they go down 2-0, they lose that series. They bring it back. They end up with a lead in that series. They looked dead on arrival after the 2 games in Houston, and then they go on to take a 3-2 lead. Don't need to talk about how that ends. The series against Tampa, you go down 3-0, you are about to get swept, and somehow they fight and find a way to force Game 7. The series against the Braves, they looked ready to be done after Game 4. And you think, all right, Game 5, Braves are going to handle them. they're going to get it done in Atlanta. And the Astros, through grit and veteran presence, find a way to push it to Game 6. And even last year, right, the series against the Phillies, Game 1, gut-wrenching loss. I thought it was going to be time to make the most angry video. And I made the most angry video and then deleted it before I even uploaded it. I just killed it in production and re-recorded the whole thing. And then Game 3 was the same thing. The 7-0 loss. McCullers got shelled. They were dead. They were done. And then they respond with 3 masterful games, including a no-hitter, and win. This team is never out of it. Even this season, which has debatably been, even with the 2020 season, where they finished literally below 500, they were a losing baseball team heading into the postseason. This might be the worst season they've had of that stretch. There has been so much controversy and negativity around this team, and so much just disappointment within the fan base talking about them. They have not been held in regards by the fans like the defending World Series champions. They have been talked about like a bunch of scrubs. And you can very easily just say, well, yeah, they've set a higher precedent from themselves. But again, this has been a very not upbeat season for this team. And despite everything, despite the pile of injuries, the pile of veterans not performing the way they were supposed to, or new additions just way underperforming, or key re-additions not performing to what they should be, or, have I already mentioned injuries? Injuries, again, even if I already said it, it bears repeating. All the different questions from managers or general managers or the fake general manager / owner. All of it. All of just the cloud that has surrounded this team this season. And at their worst, they still find a way to, from other teams imploding, capitalizing on moments, and the right timed hot streaks, they're back at the dance. Now, these 2 games that propelled them into it, they've scored 3 runs, and they are somehow... they've scored 3 runs and are 2-0 in those games. That is wild. But are those particularly confidence-inspiring games? No. But we have been on the receiving end a couple of times to know all you have to do is get there. Because, yeah, the Astros tonight are 89-72, and tomorrow they might end up being 89-73 or 90-72. But come Tuesday, the Astros, the Rays, the Orioles, the Dodgers, the Braves, everyone is going to be 0-0. And we'll figure it out from there. So tomorrow we all get to enjoy the last day of school vibes as the Astros play at 3:10 Eastern, 2:10 Central. Neither the Astros or the Diamondbacks have announced a starter for that game. I'll be here afterwards to talk about it, but as for right now, that is all I have to say. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider to like and subscribe. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day, and as always, go Astros.